I was petrified. That first day coming in, knowing that I knew virtually every teacher in the school because I'd have been a colleague of theirs. Only 4 people I didn't know. Elaine McBride, Lynn Ferris, Chris Campbell, and a hairy, ugly-looking Spanish teacher called Kieran Mulvena. Other than that, they'd all been my colleagues, and suddenly I was supposed to look after this place, plus about 600 pupils. I came into the school, I gulped, took a deep breath, and decided, let's go. The first job I did was looked around the school and I thought, it's all cream. And I thought, well, let's go for the wow factor. I painted the corridors pink. It's probably the one thing that has been most talked about, both in the school and in the town, but it got people thinking, and we took it from there. Another change was the change of uniform and a change of the school badge, really to bring it up to the 90s. We had a lot of discussion about colours, style, and the creating of the badge itself. And where the school had a motto, we wanted to have an aim, and that aim was to be on the badge. And so the birth of the word Prestantia came about, and Prestantia has been here ever since.
I met my husband here. I was in 4th form, he was in 5th form. We have 4 children who all attended Carrick Grammar while I was teaching here. I also had 5 nieces and nephews attend the school, so really it was like an extension of the family. It was a real pleasure to work with John Moore, who I did a job share with, and we both taught German. People often wonder what it was like walking into school that first time into the staff room with those people who used to teach you, and I can honestly say they were fantastic. They made me very welcome. I didn't feel intimidated at all. It was just strange to see these people that you were quite fearful of at times, that actually they're quite normal.
It's always a balancing act. When you lose staff, you're losing experience. When you have young staff, you have a lot of training to do, and keeping that balance of experience and youth was quite challenging in the 90s. But hopefully those new members of staff gave to the school a breadth that it hadn't before.
There's no limit, no, 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 no.
When I was a young teacher, it was very much based on a headmaster with a few deputy heads, maybe a senior teacher, but you never felt that you were a part of the school community in terms of decision making. So that changed dramatically through the SMT. You know, their views were getting fairly represented at the top level. So I think that was a very good progressive change in the school.
When Ken Irwin came back as principal, it became a management team, which would have had people who were voted on by the staff, a couple of teachers as it is still, probably been about 6 or 8 people. And I suppose that meant there was a team of people then who had different roles to play.
As mathematicians, we felt that we needed to get involved in some of the musical aspects, the drama aspects of the school. So yes, that sense of fun never, for us, particularly for Peter Bell, myself, never disappeared, because it felt back to those early days that we wanted to get involved in something which was similar, but of course by this stage different. So we got involved in the productions, and the only contribution we could really make was a sort of organisational, behind the scenes. So we got involved in stage management. We had recreated the same sort of fun that we had back in the early days. I don't think it really ever left us, and I know that applied to a lot of other teachers who who came into the school who really enjoyed taking part in the productions and helping out in some way. The productions themselves were, I think, something that really invigorated the school tremendously, and obviously that still applies to this day.